Hey everyone, and welcome to SITV. My name is Sierra Artemis, and I am your host. Guys, today's episode is sponsored by Out the Barns Entertainment, and we're actually shooting live from Out the Barns studio. Shout out to Dr. Brandon Glover. Guys, be sure to check out Son of a Preacher Man. It's actually a movie that he is the writer, producer, director, and all of that on. And Out the Barns, you can see it right over here, guys. Be sure to follow them on social media. So also, I am on social media, so be sure to follow me. That's Sierra Artemis TV on Facebook, and on YouTube, I am Sierra Artemis. Be sure to subscribe and turn your notifications on. And guys, as always, I am always advocating for people to support their peeps. So make sure you support your friends and their businesses and their initiatives. You don't have to spend a dime. All you have to do is like, share, comment, give them some activity, because if people see that they're getting love, they're going to give love too, guys. So be sure to do that, and don't have them having to ask you, because nobody want to ask anybody to do anything. Okay, so guys, the purpose of CTV is to highlight minority businesses, creatives, and entrepreneurs in hopes to inspire you on the other side of this screen to go out and chase your goals and your dreams. And guys, my guest today, she has been chasing her dreams for quite some time. She is actually the owner of Raw Body Piercing. I have Raegin White. Hey, it's actually one of my good friends too. So hey, Raegin.
Hey.
So
hey,
thank
Sarah,
you so much. I'm doing well. So thank you so much for joining me today.
Of course.
So we're gonna dive in a little bit. So how long have you been piercing?
I have been piercing now probably about like 9-10 years.
Wow. And how did you start? Like, what made you say, hey, I want to do piercing? That's what I want to do.
Funny enough, it was really just like a hobby. I got into it when I was like a preteen. Like, me and my best friend, I got this kid offline. I pierced her belly button. And then, like further down the line, when I turned like 17, 18, then I got into it seriously as a career. I've just been doing it ever since then.
That's amazing. So now you started doing piercings at home. And by the way, guys, I was actually one of the people that she pierced. I know she was piercing belly buttons in the car, all kinds of stuff, and she pierced my belly button on her bed.
I know.
I still have it, but
we used to do when we were kids. It's funny.
Hey, but hey, you got to start somewhere. So that lets our younger viewers know that hey, you can start at any age and you can right. grow your business. So Raegin, how long have you had your storefront?
I've had the storefront now for 5 years.
Oh, wow. Yeah. And guys, she's actually getting ready to open up her second shop. So how soon is that set to open?
I am hoping it should be open within the next 3 months. We're getting everything together now. Construction's getting completed. Then we just have to wait for DHEC to come out, finish their inspection. And then I'm hoping everything should be up and running by summertime.
That's awesome. So now for right now, I know not, while you're opening the new location, how many workers how many piercers do you have working under you right now?
Right now I have 6.
6. Wow. So how many rooms is in this one building? I think it was like 3, but you kept adding a room. So how many rooms do you have now in the current location?
In the current location, we actually only have 2 piercing rooms. The new location will have 3.
Okay, awesome. And are people going to be, transporting between the two? Like,
no, my goal is to have them both separately operating. I do have some apprentices now. Basically, an apprentice is someone that I train. So right now, currently, I have 3. And then when I get the new location open, then I plan to be, taking on more apprentices, also hiring more experienced piercers as well for the new location.
Okay. Yeah. So what type of piercings do you specialize in? I know it's going to be a little rated R for some people that aren't used to this. So
we do all piercings. We do basic piercings like earlobe piercings, and we pierce children age 5, starting at age 5, and then we go, as exclusive as below the waist piercings, nipple piercings, things like that. So we basically do everything in between: facial piercings, dermal, surface piercings. So we have a wide range of piercings that we specialize in.
That's awesome. And one thing, guys, that I want to also emphasize is Raegin's really big on educating her customers and her clients. She's really big on aftercare services and everything like that. So do you have any advice for, piercing maintenance that you might be able to share with us?
Yeah, definitely. As far as piercing maintenance, especially the big thing at my store is follow-ups. It
Mm.
does take a while for certain piercings to heal longer than others. So I definitely recommend that everyone, listens to their piercer, and if they ever have any concerns, just go back to your piercer. If you think you have an infection or if you think anything's wrong, you just come in. We do in-person follow-ups, and then we also do video chat follow-ups. So if you're unable to make it into the store, you just go on the website. It's rawbodypiercing.com, and then you'll just book a video chat follow-up.
Okay, awesome. And guys, I had that information scrolling. Again, I'm here with Raegin White. She is the owner and operator of Raw Body Piercing. That's the Instagram right there. And at the bottom of the screen, you can make your appointment that way. I think you also have a phone number, correct? There's
Yes.
also a phone number okay, what is that number?
803-764-4579. That is an automated number. So to get an operator, just press 0.
Okay, awesome, awesome. So, you also sell body jewelry too. So I want to make sure that we get all the aspects of what you do at Raw Body Piercing. So, you sell jewelry as well. Do you have any deals, or how are those priced?
Yes, so we have 3 categories for our piercings. Standard piercing would be like a single hole piercing, so that'd be like a nose, lip, eyebrow. Then you get into that's 2 for $60 on the same person. That's every day for a deal. And then you'll have your like dermals and surface bar piercings and genital piercings. Those all start at $50.
Okay. Yeah. And you know what, guys? I meant to shout her out for this too. She did my industrial bar. I let it close up, but I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And it didn't even hurt like that because she's real gentle and she kind of talks you through it. So if you're interested in getting a piercing, but you're kind of nervous, she kind of walks you through that process. And again, she says that they do these online follow-up appointments, which I think is amazing. So because I think there's a lot of people that feel like if something goes wrong, their initial thing to do is just run to the internet and say, this went wrong. Well, it could also be your body. Your body might be rejecting it, and allow the place that you're going to get service to educate you and to help you. Right. I think it's best to do that because you don't want to, flood people with bad reviews just because you had a bad experience at home. They had nothing to do with the piercing that you got. More than likely, correct?
Right. Yeah, I definitely want to throw in there too, especially with us being African American. We're more prone to keloiding, which would be like bumps, that form around piercings. A keloid comes from like an injury to the skin, so that could be more severe, like a cut. But piercings, fall under that category as well. So that's more so for like cartilage piercings, like you said, your industrial bar. Usually, ear piercings and nose piercings are more prone to developing bumps, but that's totally normal, and it's 100% treatable. Usually, if you just get some tea tree oil and do that, and we also sell that in store as well as an aftercare product.
Okay, awesome, guys. So make sure that you guys are writing all this information down because it is useful, very, very useful information. And again, check out Raw Body Piercing. That information is scrolling at the bottom of the screen, her website. And if you're on Instagram, be sure to follow Raw Body Piercing. Again, this is Raegin White. She's the owner and operator. She has 6 people working under her right now. So you may not necessarily get her when you go because my honey she is working, honey, and she's traveling. So you eventually want to get to that point in your life where you have enough people working under you where you can go and enjoy the fruits of your labor, honey. So that is amazing. So one thing I want to kind of get into before we kind of wrap up today. So tell me a little bit about how it's been, the learning experience with having a business, owning and operating a business. How's that been for you?
It's been fun. It's definitely been a journey. A lot of the things that I knew, I personally didn't have a mentor per se, but I do recommend, those who are seeking, starting their own businesses, you may want to try to find a mentor that can, assist you. I just did a lot of research. I didn't do any business classes, but I do also think that that's good to have, under your belt. Also too, to try to give you some insight. But like I said, a lot of it for me has just been like trial and error. Along the way, I try it out, see if it works. If it does, and I just go for it. Sometimes things don't always work out, but you just got to keep trying.
So that's amazing. That's some great advice there. So do you have any other advice that you would give to anyone, especially if they're starting a career in piercing, besides having a mentor or the aspects of operating a business? Any other advice you would like to give?
I would say I know a lot of people ask me about getting involved in body piercing. The good thing about body piercing, you don't have to do like a formal training. Like how I mentioned earlier, like I accept apprentices. Body piercing and tattooing, usually you just have to find someone who is willing to train you. Apprenticeships, they do vary sometimes in price. well, you'll have to pay for your training. But each state varies. Like South Carolina only requires you to do 400 hours, training hours, in addition to getting certifications. But you can actually find all that information if you Google and go online, South Carolina DHEC. It has a list of everything that you need, if you're looking into becoming a body piercer.
Okay, that's amazing. And again, I'm so excited that you're getting ready to open a second location, Raw 2. So when again is that set to open?
It should be within the next 3 months. I will have probably more of a specific date within the next few weeks, but I'll definitely make sure that I post everything online. So, you can follow us on Instagram. We have Facebook, Raw Body Piercing, and then the website as well. So I'm definitely going to blast it out when I have the official opening date. I do plan to do a grand opening, but, we'll be somewhat minimized just because I know we're still dealing with the pandemic. But, that is a goal of mine that I do want to still do a grand opening.
That's awesome. So let us know where is the current location? Where is your current location?
The current location is 9557 Suite K, Two Notch Road. That's in Columbia. And the second location is over off of Broad River. It's 1431 Suite A, Rushmore Road.
Awesome. And so another thing that I really enjoy watching is the renovations. You pretty much get these buildings and you go in and you raw-tize it. You go in and you make it your own. So tell me a little bit about what you've learned about, getting renovation and contracting. How has that been?
I definitely, it's been fun. I think that's the funnest part for me is doing the renovations. But I definitely would say to anyone who is planning to go into a space and renovate it, always plan for there to be, I wouldn't say mistakes, but it's just like a house. You go in and then you won't really find out what's wrong sometimes until you gut it. You might have a projected completion date, and sometimes you'll make it, sometimes you won't. So definitely you want to make sure that you save enough. A good rule of thumb, you should always have like 3 months 3 months rent or utilities saved up, so just in case anything goes wrong, you'll be able to hold it out, and still be able to pay all your bills without, going into debt.
That's smart. And I guess that's great advice for actually operating a building too, even past the renovation, to have a rainy day fund, because you have things like the pandemic that happened. And it's like, you've already had these projected goals. You already had these projected goals for, the year. And then all of a sudden it's all just destroyed because something like a natural disaster happens, and you have to kind of try to plan around that. So I'm going to backtrack. I'm just going to backtrack a little bit. So let's talk about the name Raw Body Piercing. Where did the name come from?
Raw is actually my initials. It's Raegin White. So that's where that came from. The logo, I had drawn up a few years ago by a tattoo artist that I had knew at the time. So that's basically, what it was. And then, it's funny because then I didn't expect it to be as huge. I really just kind of opened the store because I just, wanted somewhere for me to, do piercings. And it's just, and it's just grown. Just because in South Carolina, you have to have a facility. It's not like you can be, like a specific person with a license and then work inside of a facility. Like waxing or anything, you have to have your separate license. So, I was like, once I figured that out, then I was like, all right, so then I just opened my own studio. I didn't have any intention on having employees at the time, but as it started to expand and grow, I didn't have a choice, because I was like, I can't do it all myself.
That's exciting. That is so amazing. Yeah. So guys, if you're just tuning in, again, I am here with Raegin White. She's the owner and the operator of Raw Body Piercing, and it's located on Two Notch Road. She's getting ready to open up a second location. She's given us great advice about maintenance and aftercare for body piercing. She told us a lot about the piercings that they offer. Just a lot of great information here today, guys. So if you're just tuning in, we are getting ready to wrap up, but you can always replay on Facebook or Instagram. Again, that is Sierra Artemis on YouTube, and you can subscribe, turn your notifications on, and on Facebook.com is Sierra Artemis TV. And again, thank you, Raegin, so much for taking the time to educate us, tell us about your business, and again, congrats on the second location. Cannot wait for you to open it.
Thank you for having me.
All right.
Thank you.
You're more than welcome. So guys, again, I have Raegin's information available right here. That's Instagram, Instagram, raw body piercing, and her website is at the bottom. You can always call. She said it's automated, but you can always call, or you can book your appointment online. And guys, she also has jewelry that she sells. We talked a little bit about that as well. So if you need to upgrade your jewels, or I think it's actually included in the price with some things. So if you have any questions, you can always reach out to her. That number is right there. You can always follow them on Facebook as well, guys. A lot of great information there. So again, I want to thank my sponsors for today's show. Again, I am live right here in Out the Barn studio. Be sure to follow Son of a Preacher Man. That is Dr. Brandon Glover. He's the writer, director, and producer of this film, guys, that they're working on. And it's going to be super, super great. I'm super excited about that as well. So let me go ahead and remove these things from the screen. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in to CTV again. Guys, I will see you next Saturday at 7 p.m.